The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the hosts and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the podcast platform, its affiliates, or even the hosts. The information provided is for general informational purposes only and should not be taken as legal, financial, or professional advice. The host and guests are not liable for any errors of omission in the content, nor for any losses, injuries, or damages arising from the use of the information provided. Listeners are encouraged to seek professional advice relevant to their specific circumstances. Now enjoy the show.
Hi. How is everybody?
How are you? How are
okay.
you this lovely Tuesday evening?
I know. Feels like a great night to run with scissors, as opposed to everything.
No.
My kid is playing games behind me, so that's why you hear oh no. It's like he's
I know. I was just saying, oh no, like I don't know. I still don't recommend running with scissors. This is a preventive show.
Tomatoes.
No day. No, but for real, how are you today? Because it's been very interesting, just society-wise. How is it on your side of town, in the country? How is it?
Well, I deal in imports, so the last couple weeks have been enlightening. Yeah, that's a good way of saying effed up. But yeah, other than that, it's been great.
I love the automatic translation key. Okay.
Yeah.
Really?
You know, it's not the job, it's the industry and the way it stands right now. So I don't have any problems with where I work at. The people, they're dope, except for we are literally figuring this thing out, and it's getting to be like, and then you have your regular life and your career and your business, and yeah, it gets a little
It's busy in these streets, right? Okay. Well, it looks like you're juggling everything pretty good. It may not feel like it for everything, but I would say you're doing pretty good. Okay.
Trying to. How about you?
It's same thing, I guess, really will. I won't say juggling because I'm trying to balance. That's what I'm working on. Trying to balance all things new, transitioning, right? Like just trying to stay above water, you know.
Yeah.
Try not to run with scissors, pretty much. That's where I am. There's a lot of good things happening. There's a lot of blessings at the same time, but it's really, really busy. And I'm trying to make sure that I stay focused on the stuff that's not negative, because that is like piling up. And I'm like, I just don't have time to focus on that list.
No doubt.
Staying positive.
I do have something super positive. We do have a sponsor. Detroit Slapbox is our official sponsor.
Awesome. What's up, Detroit Slapbox?
Official, and he pays us. We got something in the register. It's so good.
Thank you. That's cool. That's cool. I look forward to not just what this season is going to do, but just the seasons moving forward. Like, I really feel that is important for our community building to just enhance. So I look forward to all the businesses that we're going to be partnering with and sponsoring and just having those resources. I'm excited. I can't wait to just watch this thing grow. Invite you all to share your resources and businesses, right? Let's get this community going. I'm excited to hear, though. It's so needed. It's so
our
needed.
email's right there. We are united by yahoo.com. You want to advertise with us like Detroit Slapboxing does currently, get at us. We have super competitive rates. We're super flexible, and we will put your business in millions of homes every week. What, 2 or 3 times a week? Well, yeah, sounds all right.
Pretty much. I'm like, hey, look, we already know for all the reasons we don't have to repeat, it's time.
Yes.
Son. Yes. So, what are we talking about this evening?
Funny you should ask that. Bong. What education must we keep alive for ourselves and our children? And at first I was
Mm.
like, I didn't get it. And then I said, oh, I had an old moment driving. I was like, yup, I got a story to tell like Biggie. Yup. Absolutely. God dang. So,
Really?
oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It didn't
Yeah.
click until it clicked, you know.
I think it's funny, like, of course, the audience, they don't know how we go about picking our topics, right? And it's not so freestyle and random. We actually do things ahead of time, but the timing of our topics, they be on point. They really be on point because this one's needed right on
Yeah.
time with the chaos that's going on. It's really good. See, what story you got to tell, Biggie?
First of all, before we do anything, because this has been on my mind, I didn't get to announce on last night's show, and I don't want to make it somber, but we gotta do a big rest in peace to Angie Stone, dog. We out here playing in these streets and not repping our legends. Rest in peace, Angie Stone. Damn. And it's not to be
Yeah.
somber. She always been jamming, and I just wanted to give her a shout out. Like, dead or alive, she's the coldest singers I've ever heard in my life. Low key.
Yeah, she was special. She was definitely special. And I'm sure everybody's feeling the same way, like watching the videos, watching her last couple of videos and being like, really interesting. You know, this wasn't necessarily like an accident. And that just puts you in the mood by itself. But she was definitely special. She was talent. She was talented. She really was.
Yep. And also, last but not least, somebody I grew up listening to, Jasper Isley passed. He was 73, but he was like mad old because I was a kid listening to him in his heyday. So, and I'm damn near 50. So, it happens. You know,
I think it's interesting, like all the people that we're losing. I really like. I mean, I'm sure the young kids probably feel like they're fine, but they don't have the type of talent that we had, and I'm sure that the generation in front of us was saying the same thing. But I'm like, they are just leaving. Who's supposed to lead us, especially in the industry and the music and movies and the talent? It's like I'm a little like uncomfortable with what we have to look forward to lead us for real.
We are our own self-service entertainment. They took the star out of being a star many years ago. When they turned on your YouTube and your social media, they made you the star. They realized they didn't have to keep paying Prince or this person. That person is an enhancement talent, but we became our own stars.
Hey, look, who they weren't paying to begin with.
Exactly. So yeah.
No, I think it's interesting. I remember watching the music kind of change when One Hit Wonders came in. And it was that more like, I would think like more 80s and 90s and definitely for like 2000 up when One Hit Wonders was okay. Like you didn't even want to have a goal or have a record company. One Hit Wonders and you was okay with that. It's kind of sad.
Think about it. Back in the day, you could like Afro Man. Afro Man still travels off of I Get High till this day. All you need is one. He's still traveling off the same record. I
did not see that one coming. Afro Man, oh my God.
Afro Man still traveling off the same record.
Look, I don't care what nobody say. Be careful what you ask for. Folks be like, I want to be famous in any streets. Can you imagine singing the same song 1,153 million times? The same thing?
I don't know. She's a Bad Mama Jamma is a part of our lexicon for a reason. That dude is still getting paid off that one jam.
I'm sure, but I bet you it's probably 40 cents to a dollar. If that, I would hate that song would get on my nerves so bad. I would be like, no.
I hum to myself for free, and don't nobody send me a check ever. So, it's what it is.
But you know, you want change. They got new songs and new creative energy. You're growing through life singing the same thing. That would drive me crazy. It's
just like podcasting. You never know what's going to hit. You never know that one thing. Because most of the hit records that people stumble upon, they hate them. I can list numerous folks that hated their hit record. It is the one that got them on the map.
So do you think they start liking it just because it hit them on the map, or does it still get on their nerves?
Still get on their nerves, but it still pays the bill. It's just like work. You're gonna, you know what I mean? Unless you just like love your job all the time, there's gonna be them days you be like, damn, they pay me, I'm here. Damn, do this stuff again. It's like,
Every 2 week refresher, like, okay, that's why I come back. Okay. All
that's
right.
right.
He's funny. No. No. All
Except
right.
for like at my job, no one's saying, "Ooh, you're an importer." Yeah, give me high fives. But imagine having Afro Man song and you at like dinner and someone just starts singing, "I was going to go to work, then I got high." That would make me super mad at some point. So I'm so much lucky not to be a one-hit wonder because, even better, even better. What was that? Oh God. Oh, Dave Chappelle. I'm Rick James, bitch. Can you imagine being Dave Chappelle and people just randomly come at you with their chin talking about Rick James, bitch,
He
over and
probably
over
wants to
again?
slap him. I would think he would want to slap him. Like, that's not my name. That's not who I am. That's what I'm saying. Like, people get
Yeah.
into this thing and you don't know what kind of impact. You don't know how long it's going to last, how long. You don't think that you're going to be saying the same catchphrase for your rest of your life. That was not why you got into the industry, I'm sure. I'm sure.
What you talking about, Willis? What you talking about, Willis?
I bet
I'll
you,
wait.
look, that's the only one. Yeah, no.
I'm just saying.
No. No. Do you
There's a
think
bunch of
that you are? Do you think that with all the people that you meet, that you're a one-hit wonder in their lives?
It depends. Are we talking music or did I punch him? I was pretty wild. When we talking.
I don't know what kind of impact you left in their life. I'm just
You talking
saying.
about
You
one
think
hit
that,
wonder, like,
like,
hey, ho, are you talking about
somebody's
like,
somebody's memory of you is just like, I only met him once, but this is what stuck with me.
I hope it was positive, whoever you are.
How many people have you hit, RG? Like what?
Not
Okay, don't answer
a
that.
lot, but enough. How about that? Yes.
I'm about to say, don't answer that on camera.
No, I'm serious. Not a lot, but enough. That's very. It could be one. Could be many.
It's like the way that we're talking about it. I know for a fact that I'm a one-hit wonder in many people's lives. Good for the most part, but for sure, I'll be in and out. Like, hey, this is what it is. How you doing? All right, good job. And I'm calling.
She already car gone. I-96 done. Like, bye.
Yeah, sure. Especially think about when you're talking to strangers in like the grocery store and stuff. I'll be having some amazing conversations. Like every day is a field trip, but you don't see them anymore. You don't see them anymore.
True.
You would be a one-hit wonder. So I know that I've had some impactful moments with people all the time.
You know what? When you put it in hindsight, that kind of happened today for me. I literally stopped at the gas station and I walked to the door and this older lady. So, I do like what most people my age do. You stop to get the door for the lady. But then she stopped. And I'm like, she's like, after you. I'm like, well, ladies first. She's like, well, you don't just walk up on people. I'm like, well, you have to get close to the door for me to open it. And then she started laughing. Like, when you get in the door, it's cold out here. Like, so yeah. And we had this really funny thing, and I'll probably never see that old lady again ever.
See, it's a moment. It's a one-hit wonder.
Right.
Okay. See now, all right. When it comes to life, I can deal with it, but I feel sorry for the one person who has to sing that song forever. That no, I don't care how much you
keep clearing. Then I'm cool. Indeed, we're gonna ride till we can't no more. Uptown Road. You know why? Because that kid's still getting paid off that horrible record. I'm just saying.
Look, we are not. That is a whole different conversation with that record. Good gosh, you talk about just the banana in the tailpipe. That was jacked up.
Can't nobody tell him nothing. I'm gonna report myself.
I'm about to get my erasing pad. No.
I keep telling you, these little catchphrases stick with you, buddy. I'm tired. I'm sorry. It's just what it is.
That's funny. You remember when you said when you try to figure stuff out in your mind and you don't carry over the one you're erasing in real life?
Yes.
I bet you this generation doesn't even do that. Like they're allowed to use calculators at school.
Like nothing. Hey Siri, what's blah blah blah? That's usually where it goes nowadays.
Right? Just Google it. So that all those different things that we used to do growing up, they don't do. That's why we're having this conversation. There's so many different things that was a part of our life that it made us. It added to our culture. It added to our history. It just added to that sense of community. And they don't have it. They genuinely don't have it. My daughter, she's not that much younger. I mean, she's about to be 20, but I think it was middle school. She went to school and somebody asked her what the time was and she went like this first. And they were like, why are you looking at your wrist? They genuinely had no clue what that gesture meant because everybody does cell phones now. So everything, look at your time is looking at your phone. It's not your watch.
Look at what Oh, like there are young kids that don't know how to write cursive, which I'm
Nobody.
like, what? How do you not know how to write your signature? You know, if you didn't know nothing else about cursive, you knew how to write your name in cursive because
At least
eventually
your
you have
name.
to sign something.
They took it out. They took it out years ago. So I want to say I've met people who are now in their early 30s who can't read cursive. So this has been out for a while as far as cursive. Ain't that crazy?
You see, it's like, what? What? Can't read cursive.
Is right. Because how do you sign? But I remember having a conversation with a lady at the bank about signatures, and I was asking her, people don't sign anymore. So what do they do? And she's like, it's totally okay to just make any mark or make an X. And I'm like, how does that keep you from being a victim of fraud if you're no longer writing your name? It's not even required. But you see the signature boxes, we look like crackheads. That stuff don't look good at all.
Dude, the last time I seen somebody put an X, they was like Joan of Arc. That was like the 1800s. People, you knew half the people couldn't write. Like, what the hell going on like in 2025 when you can't write your name?
It's bad. It's bad. But we already know that is called conditioning, right? Now we're doing the what is those? The acronyms, texting,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
shorthand,
Be right
Grammarly,
back.
autocorrect, right? Like we're being dumbed down, and it's working. Like these kids don't have, the kids probably only know their parents' phone number. That's it, and that's if your parent kept the same number forever.
You know what? Yeah,
Mhm.
because I know as a kid, I had about 1,000 numbers in my brain. That I'd be like, oh, this blah, blah, blah. You know, I would wear out the keypad down the same damn numbers all the damn time.
See,
So,
but you
yep.
knew them.
Right.
You knew those numbers, like all 10 digits. You have kids now, it's
Yeah.
like there's 10 digits in the phone number. They just used to push in the face. Like that's
Yeah,
it.
because, damn, I still remember my home phone number as a kid.
See,
Yeah.
that needs to go on the list of tonight's topics. Phone numbers. We need to keep that
Yeah.
alive. If you ever don't have your phone, you already don't need a quarter anymore. But how are you supposed to call the people that care about you that can actually help if you don't know their number?
That is true. But, okay, these young people and people's, I gotta give it out here, right? People live unstable lifestyles, and I don't mean that as an insult. So you might have a cat that his phone might get shut off 5 times the same year. So that number wasn't the same last week. It ain't gonna be the same in 2 months from now. And 6 months after that, he's gonna have a whole different number because lifestyles have changed. You know, it's rare to have a
You
phone
said
number past
lifestyles. That's
6 years,
why you want what you want to
5 years.
call it. You said lifestyles have changed. I don't. They probably
Yeah,
doing the same thing while life is changing. That's why I ain't staying on.
struggling. Shoot, it'd be like that. Shoot, it'd be
No,
like
I have a few people that number just keeps rotating. I don't even try to remember it. It's like as soon as I remember it, or as soon as I remember your address, you're gonna move or you're gonna lose it. But that
right.
if they're that unstable, that's probably not somebody you want to call when you need help anyway.
But you know, right? I
Depends on the
can't even say that
relationship.
nowadays. I
Depends on
can't
the
even say that
relationship.
nowadays. Yeah, because
You know,
this
like
it's ill out here, man. So I don't even knock people if their phone number change. Just text me when you get your new phone. You know what I'm saying? Because you're still a homie, but shit, it be like that sometimes. You know?
no, it's rough. But no, that all right. I'm putting that down on the list of things that we need to make sure we keep alive.
Remember a telephone
People's
number.
phone numbers. At least I would say at least have 5 people, a handful, if you're lucky, right?
Yeah.
A handful of important numbers that you will remember, or at least write them down, put them in the back of your phone, put them in your pocket, put them in your wallet. You know, you used to just have a hard copy of what's important.
Yes,
Hard copy,
absolutely.
right? If you get hit with an EMP, you're done. You're done for, son. I'm just saying it's over. Hard copy. People don't want to write stuff down now. I'm like, oh, it might get stolen. Really? Your
Well,
whole everything's in that phone. You worried about the piece of paper going missing?
but you gotta understand who else around with an ink pen now in the writing utensil. Dude, I went to a birthday party. I brought a card, got all the way there, and realized I didn't have a pink ink pen nowhere. I literally had to go drive around to buy an ink pen because
What?
no one had one.
Nobody had one.
No one at that place had an ink pen. Because think about it, you don't have to try unless you're at one of them like Chi-Chi's, you're not really signing your like credit card receipt or you're paying
Okay.
cash. So
Look,
no one
that's going
had
on the
a
list
pen.
too. I use pens. I still like pencil and paper. So I keep pen in the car. I keep a pen and a pencil for sure. In my car, in my purse. I try to keep it around because you just never know when you're going to need to write
I'm perfect.
something.
I always keep a pen. I'm perfect. Well, I don't. Okay, sorry.
Well, you drove around. Like somebody should have a pen. But yeah, everything's paperless. You're right. But that's that. All right. As much as people are afraid of identity theft and afraid of losing things, how come no one's actually worried about how much dependency they have on technology? Like that's not guaranteed. I mean, if your battery dies, nothing. You have nothing.
Okay, so I can tell you this from going from not having to having. Because remember, I'm 40. So I grew up in a time where the biggest computer I had was a speak and spell. And then all of a sudden, by the time I was 20, I was walking around with a phone in my hand. So I've seen it both ways.
Oh,
So you have kids who have grew up with tech and they have become so dependent, they're actually okay with the ebbs and flows of it because they grew up with it. So they know it's going to fail and they're okay with the failure rate versus us. We're like, oh, hell no, I need this shit yesterday. Because you ever seen a kid with a missing iPad? They get upset. Then the iPad charge back up. They're good. Man, if my iPad died today, I'd have that shit back at the store yesterday, son, because I don't know why it didn't work.
See, well, they usually aren't. Well, a lot of times, the kids, they're not the ones who bought it. They don't have the money to pay for it. So they can't take care of themselves. So yeah, they just kind of deal with it because yes, they have to deal with it. But it's that pacifying and that rage and the emotions attached to the computers, their phones, that stuff is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And I'm like, there's a lot of different things that I know that I'm watching as the generations are changing. I'm sure you're seeing it too, that there's a disconnect. Like A is not going straight to C, not anymore. There's a lot of steps that they're just not aware of. And they're very, very smart, right? The technology is fast. They are on it. Their minds think really, really quick. But common sense is not common at all. And it's like, homie, how are you? It's like, how are you even surviving? And I see that with a lot of people now, where it's just like, you're so intelligent, you're so talented, but how in the world are you making it at all?
Right. I will give you. If I'm gonna piggyback off that. We need to go back to being patient.
Oh,
good old-fashioned patience. Because we are in a Pop-Tart instant world where you put the mic, what I mean? When I was a kid, of course, you had to put the popcorn in the pan, you had to let the grease heat up and you moved around. Or if you were real funky, you had the air popper and that sounded like a damn helicopter in your kitchen. Now, 35 seconds, you got a full bag of popcorn. So you become instant. The computers move fast. You move fast. But sometimes, some things just take time. Like success. People are ready to have all these dubs, but they don't know how to take L's. Put that on the list. Success also required failure, and you have to keep going. So now we got two: patience and learn how to fail.
Dude.
Because you need them both.
Okay, so I don't know if you mean to, but I think that we're jumping directly into this topic because you are bringing up some really good points. And you're so right with that. Like the patience, look at Google. You don't even have to actually even want to really know anything to get an answer. You don't even care about that question. Like we just pull random stuff out of our minds. Okay, let me just Google it. Let me see. Who cares how old like Leroy is from
Bruce Leroy?
Right. Let's see how old
he is. I would look at it right now. Stop playing.
Look, you'd be like, I don't even care. It's not important. It doesn't affect your tomorrow, but shoot, I can get it.
This is Bruce Leroy. What are you talking about? This is very important.
No, we can look at
glow and the ultra perm. That is important, sister. I don't care what you're talking about.
See, he was funny. It's just, but you can look up anything, get an answer, and be over it in the same sentence, like in the same minute. Get an answer and over it. Don't even care no more.
By the way, that guy's 60 years old. Let that sizzle. Bruce Leroy is 60.
Look, it's
you Googled it like I did.
I am fully like just detached, especially since I don't watch TV regularly. But you know how everything's on demand. You can watch the same thing over and over. We have no clue how old these people are. I know, like when I was looking at
how much old that guy is. He's 60. I just Googled it.
60. I know, it's crazy. He hasn't done much in between now and then. Like it was a lot. He had a whole story.
It's cool. But he got that glow.
Got
that glow. Put that on board.
He's funny.
That's
See, that was funny too. Like I was looking at Angie Stone's videos. I forgot how much older she was getting started. So looking at her more recently, it was like, dang, how old is she? I didn't know that. It's like, when did that happen? And you know how your voice doesn't change. So you can hear somebody and listen to them talking recently, and it's like you just completely just not aware of how much time is passing.
Yeah, I didn't realize how old she was until, unfortunately, her passing. I thought she was a little bit closer to, like, you know, artists of this era. You know, I expect Patti LaBelle to be like old as hell, but Angie Stone, I realized she was closer to her than she was me. You know.
Yeah, when I was about to say when she was with D'Angelo, she was already 31.
Oh, she let him young. Okay, because D'Angelo was still
he was 19. But
okay, that sounds like a felony. Okay, right on, Angie Stone. Slow down there, buddy.
He was legal. He pursued her, but
wait. You know, this is a whole other show. Don't start that. Don't you start that. That's a whole other show.
It's late.
Don't you start. We talking about he was legal because he's 19.
Look, you already know I can't talk. My husband, my senior, like 20 years, so I can't talk.
But me and you are pretty close in age, right? So you met him at a time where you were an adult, you could figure that thing out. So you telling me, and I'm not wishing this, you telling me your 19-year coming in here with like a 32, like, hey, I love him. Dude, you and your husband gonna beat the brakes off that person, and they may not make it out. And then I gotta drive to Texas to go bury your body. Don't play with me. I know how you are.
Right. Hey, look, you definitely got to ask some questions because I'll be teasing my son. You know, he's always been tall and cute and muscular. I was like, don't be walking up in here with somebody's mama. I know they're going to be in like, can I see him? Like, Lord.
So, Angie Stone. Leave that boy alone.
Look, we love some Angie. We love some Angie.
No, I'll just say, rest in peace, though.
I'm the only one on here, so I can't really stop talking right now.
Oh, let's see.
He's not going to dig out a purse. He's not.
What?
See? No, because my son is talking to me.
Oh. Okay, that makes a heck of a lot more sense. I'm
not talking to myself, right? He's like, it's not magic. It's not magic. I'm sorry. But no.
Hey,
y'all.
Hey, switch your spot.
I was doing it, y'all. I got my hand on the thingy right now.
Okay.
Get down there to the bottom.
You're still on the wrong side. Get on the other side.
Look, she loves you. That's funny. You can move them things so quick. I blink and miss it. See, we jumping on in here, and Mr. RG is bringing up some good points already on accident. He don't even realize it. He says that we need patience. What else she said?
Who needs patience?
And no, just in general, things that we still need to see. Patience.
I said pencil and paper because folks don't know nobody's number.
Oh, y'all talking about education for what? Well, not education, but what must we keep it with pencil and paper? Absolutely.
In general, because we were talking about how dependent we are on technology, and it's like how the kids now, they don't know anybody's numbers.
That's true.
Like they don't know how to do any math. They don't ask questions. They used to Google, and it's like it's different. We are losing that.
I just think that we are losing the overall connection thing. Like we are not as connected as I feel like we should be with each other.
Yeah.
Everything is electronic. Everything you can send a text message. When you get in a group of people in a room, everybody's on their phone. Nobody's having a conversation. The art of conversation has been lost.
Oh my bad. Have you ever been in a conversation with someone and they actually say, laugh out loud? It's like, did you just say your text out loud? Like you're a human, you're in person.
Not the LOL.
When I text LOL, a lot of times I'm not even laughing.
That happens a lot. I think most of the texting that people do, it has nothing to do with how they're feeling. Like they're stuck in the bed sideways, right? They're sitting here.
Because I'm saying
illusion.
We're not laughing. I'll type LOL because it's funny, but in theory, inside I'm laughing, but I'm not like ha ha ha.
So I'm the only person out here busting that gut. Like when I LOL, I'm up here cracking
not all the time. So a lot of times I if it's funny for real, I will. I'm not saying all the time, but there's a lot of times where I just put LOL because it was a funny thing, and I thought it was funny.
Right.
But I'm not like busting the gut like no.
No,
and I guarantee you half the time that people that do it that are not really laughing out loud.
So LOL is off limits to you. You just got to put funny. You got to put right the whole word.
If I put laughing emojis or
but start going over the go during the day. They are white. I'm serious.
Oh, I'm more expressive than just the LOL.
Sweetie, but they're different. Thank you. Business hours. I'm back.
I'm more expressive than just the LOL. LOL to me is just like, if I'm like laughing my ass off, then that probably means I'm really laughing. Or if I'm putting laughing emojis, I'm probably laughing.
I remember when acronyms first started. It drove me crazy. I didn't want to have a freaking key to figure out the conversation. Yeah. Like it was, and I remember I totally was fighting it. Like I was fighting it for a long time because especially in our age group, I was like, acronyms are for the children. I'm gonna need you to use your words, like all your vowels, speak. So as soon as I started seeing like our generation and older, like doing, oh my gosh, it was just like, what are you doing?
What are you doing? Like what we gotta do? We gotta go to commercial. Actually, yeah, we got too much patience. We ain't even doing the damn commercial break on time. Good Lord. Let's go to commercial quick. Good Lord.
Well, I guess I'll get on my phone during the commercial break.
Oh, really? Really?
Well played. LOL. What up, peeps? RG from a United Front. Got a quick question for you. Have you always dreamed about podcasting, but you don't know where to start or what even platform to use? Well, I can answer one of them questions for you from the start. Make StreamYard your first investment in your podcast future. StreamYard's easy to use, and it allows you to go live in multiple platforms at once. So, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, you can stream them all at the same time. Show us some love. That's my point. When you open up a StreamYard account, use that link below. That actually gives us some love so we can keep producing the same content, and you can also be using the same high quality technology we use to bring the content to your internet browser. So please and thank you in advance. Go StreamYard, go United Front. Talk to you later.
It's gonna be a party, y'all.
And we are back. Big shout out to our sponsor, Detroit Slapboxing. Big shout out to the Ops on Monday. And shout out to StreamYard. People taking our money every month. Shout out to y'all too. LOL. Sorry.
LOL. LOL.
Y'all petty. Y'all petty.
LOL.
I know we laughed about that all week. Thank you, Michelle. That's gonna be the funniest thing I would think about. Now it's just hilarious.
See, now look, all jokes aside, I definitely have been looking forward to this conversation with all the things that's happening in government and all the things that's being taken away, just how things are changing around us. And education is vital, but not just when, of course, like they're trying to renege Black History Month. It puts different things in perspective, how easily we can be just pulled out of stuff, like we're just not even poor. We're just, oh, just get rid of it and just change your mind. Like we're not here. And it makes me think about school, because I remember growing up just being so disappointed. Like, this can't be it. I can't be waking up every single day and I'm supposed to go here for how many years? For what? When I graduated, I felt like I didn't learn anything. I know I could have tried harder. I could have been easy A, B's, like just kind of staying on honor, but there was no interest. I wasn't stimulated the way that I want to, not regularly and consistently. And it was just disappointing. And I remember wondering, as I got older and started having kids of my own, is this what they have to look forward to? Is like, this is the education system? Like, it's disappointing. You have to send them there, but it's just like, for what? I really want them to learn other things. Right. And as an adult with adult children watching people now, I'm amazed at the functionality of society in general, of all ages. Like, it's crazy to think that we no longer find important and we don't know. Like, we're joking about it, but it's amazing. Like, when you see an adult and they don't know something, you're like, that's like the fundamentals. What's going on? Common sense ain't common.
I'll say it like this: study to show thyself approved. In other words, you have to never stop learning.
Scripture.
This is what it is. Yeah. It's a little bit of knowledge under this gray hair. One thing I've always been is a student of life, understanding stuff like that. And I wish I had gotten to reading earlier in life, because actually I got into reading in my 20s. I did enough to pass and get good grades. But when I really picked up the gift of reading, oh man, I turned into a super villain. I was like, wait a minute, all this information in this book? Like, hell no, this is great. And it's been a wrap ever since. So always keep learning. Absolutely. There's never a time where you know enough. Always keep learning.
It's forever.
Yes.
And when you get to a point in your life where you feel like your learning you're done learning, that's when you. Well, I was gonna say, I'm gonna not say what I'm gonna say, but I'm gonna say something crazy, but I won't say it.
That's when you become DRT, dead right there. How about that?
It's gonna fall in the grave. It's gonna fall in the grave.
I wonder if people actually feel like, I guess you've heard people make that kind of comment where it's just like, there's nothing less. I know everything already. And it's like, you really feel that way? Like, do you really feel that way? Or, is your denial just speaking out loud? You really feel
I think that, when I think about the elders in my family and, how they were when they got to be a certain age, they weren't looking to change what they already know. Whatever they thought is what they thought. They weren't looking to learn anything more because, as a kid, they felt like, or even as a young adult, the elders in my family didn't think they could learn anything from me because of my age, because I'm too young to know. So I feel like they got to a point where they learned all that they could learn, so they thought. And then that's when we get the term set in your ways. I'm setting my ways, and that's just kind of what it is. And that's something I feel like I'm not going to be that elder because I'm always learning. I think I'm going to always want to continue to learn. And so that's something that I feel like we need to change when we pass that down to the ones underneath us. Like, don't ever stop learning. Like, I don't care if you live to be 75 years old. You want to always keep learning.
Nope, I agree with you. And I saw that too with the elders. And that was one of the biggest things that shaped my adulthood, watching them be so stubborn and watching them completely ignore the advice I knew was sound. Like, I just knew it was sound. Like, I remember wanting to vote at 16 and just was so disappointed with how government was and just the things that was happening. And I knew I had a voice. I wanted to be heard. And then they told me, well, you're not old enough. And I'm like, I have to wait. Like, I was so passionate about it. Like, I was just like, what's happening? What's going on? Why? And like you said, they don't want to hear it. And I told myself, when I get older and I have kids, I want to make sure I remember this moment, how it was for me when I was young. Right. When folks want to say, you don't have nothing to worry about. Why are you stressing? All you got to worry about is school. That's your only job.
Yeah,
we had full lives, right? All your trauma started then. Your socializing started then. Everything. You had a life. And I'm like, I'm not going to be that kind of person when I get older. Let's remember, your lives start now, not eventually, right? And it's like, it's really crazy. But now I'm like, we need to make sure that I really feel like it's important to connect the elders and the youth, right? The elders, that's wisdom all day. And
Right.
nobody want to hear what they have to say, but it's like they really have been through things, different time frame, but it's the same lessons, right? It's really just the same core lessons. And then the youth, they don't know what they talk about. They're young. They're now. They are the people of now. That's the future. We need to include them because their minds think so much faster. They are.
And you know why we don't have it? Humbleness.
So if
That is a lesson that we need to keep
Hello.
having. Humbleness on the old and from the young. Because you don't want to hear what that old person talking about, but they probably got chased by like people who wanted to kill them and they survived. You may want to pay attention to what the hell they're talking about. And grandma, I'm tired of fixing your iPhone. Pay attention. Write it down.
Yeah, that's the thing. Because my dad, before he passed, when my dad was 74 when he passed, my father didn't want to have nothing to do with a computer, a cell phone. Like, and my dad passed away in 2011. So technology was advanced at that point. We were on cell phones. You know what I mean? I mean, of course, not as advanced as it is now, but we were still using cell phones and computers. My dad was like, he still went to the corner store to go get his newspaper. Like, that's what he wanted to do. And
my dad was like that.
Yeah, so he was not interested.
I have a small funny story. My dad was like, I don't deal with technology. We got my iPhone. He would like have it off most of the days, right? So we was like, damn, dad phone ain't never on. We call mama because dad phone ain't on. He just does not care. So he passed away. Mom says, hey, take the pictures off the phone. You got pictures? This old man in there taking selfies. I was like, man,
that's funny.
I was laughing. My dad, the guy with his cards and that's like funny. Just the familiest dude was in taking selfies, and it made me laugh so hard because he was so anti-technology, it was ridiculous.
That's funny. That was probably really exploratory for him. You know, you would think, especially like if you only see yourself in the mirror, or if you grew up in a house without mirrors, having that phone, it definitely does something to your self-esteem. And it was different. It was new. It was different. And then you didn't even know about the pixel count, right? You just was like, hey, that's me. What's going on?
What is this about?
Right.
Yeah.
It is different. No, I believe that. But I definitely know that the schools are just disappointing. You know, I was saying that it's like it's daycare. Keep the kids busy because the parents are too busy trying to survive. They're not even paying attention to the kids. They send them there. The teachers are babysitting these kids. And the teachers, a lot of times I see too often that the teachers are raising these kids. Like the parents are not involved. And I'm like, okay, there's a detachment at home and at school. But if this is something that's supposed to be mandatory, I wanted to have the discussion of what do you think the school should be teaching and what should we be teaching? Like, what is it for us to keep alive for ourselves and our children? Because we already see the chaos. They just pulled us out of everything. Like we wasn't important at all.
The older I get, I realize that the school is not there to teach us. It's to teach us how to act when they decide they want to use us in the society as they see fit. So I would guess to say is when you come out of that school in 12 years or whatever the hell they're going to do, is know that you don't know everything and go seek the knowledge that you need to seek. A lot of people say, I graduated high school and they still don't know how to add nor read.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, they
it's a daycare. You know what I'm saying?
This is a good topic for Ezel since he's in the school system. So this has been great for him to be here. But since he's not, as far as what I feel like they should be teaching in the schools, I think a lot of financial literacy is something they should definitely teach. I mean, my kids haven't been in school some time now, so I don't know what really goes on in school now. So do they teach that in the school
now?
Now,
my kid
I don't know about
like last year.
Okay, so I still have 4 in high school, right?
All right.
And the school here in Texas versus when I was in Maryland, I've definitely seen a difference. When I was in school, they were just kind of incorporating the vocational programs, and it was exciting to see the different things like mechanics and engineering and barbershop and all that kind of stuff. It was like, oh, that's cool. But here that I've seen, I don't know if it's all of Texas, but here in San Antonio, I'm actually really pleased with the way that they make sure that these kids get a job. Like they start early. They start dual credit in middle school. So you're getting high school credits already in middle school. And in high school, you're getting dual credit college credit. You can graduate high school with an associate's degree. That was not happening when I was in school. So it's like they have so many programs. I'm talking about everything from nursing, welding, architecture, construction, police, fire, coding, building programs. Like they have a ton, more than a ton in these schools now. And I don't know exactly when that started, but I know since I've been here, that's been implemented. So they do teach financial literacy and they take it more seriously, but I don't know about all schools, especially.
We definitely got blessed because I can honestly say that the school that my kid graduated from, I was like, just hurry up and get out of there, dog, please. Because I can't take it. I can't take it. Yeah, really? It was like that.
But they need to know about credit, what credit is. Like kids graduate from high school and have no idea what that looks like. Even they don't even know how to write a check.
Nope, they don't. And then it's worse because they don't have the support at home. I see that when I was dealing with youth, my biggest problem with the youth, and one of the reasons why I stopped actually helping the youth the same way that I was with my programs, was because their parents were a problem. People didn't want to hear about their kids and their kids. Oh, you think you're smarter than me? When the kids would bring back what they would learn,
I do think I'm smarter than me. Matter of fact, I know I'm smarter than you.
The parents were offended, and I saw that the maturity in the parents, they weren't mature at all. The parents were immature and they just lived through the kids, or they were jealous of the children. So that's when I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to the environment. The kids don't have a chance, but the parents and the adults are acting up.
Absolutely. And that's what I think is a lot of the problem is because when kids, if they're just going to school and when they graduate, that's it. After they graduate, they still don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Because at their home life, they're not pushing them to go to college or whatever the next thing is going to be. Or some of these parents just want their kid just graduate. If you just graduate.
I would say just depending on the drama that they used to, right? It's like just don't have no kids, graduate. And that's like the top notch. Oh man, my baby made it through high school with no babies. And nobody, they don't even think about next steps.
So what happens after high school? Okay, what do we do?
Hey, look, in our community, we're so quick to want to kick them out. You're 18 now. I wasn't one of those kind of parents, but I definitely saw that time and time again. You're 18 now. It's like, get out. We're not as close as other cultures. We're not. It's like we have a lot of
our children such a disservice because at 18 they are not ready.
Right, 5 minutes ago you were 17. Now you're an adult. No,
they're not ready. They're not ready at 18. I mean, I don't care how much they think that they're grown, and I'm grown. You know, because for them 18 is like grown.
But people tell them that when you turn 18, right? It's like I told mine early on, don't even think it, don't even cut it out.
Don't talk to me until you got an electric bill. Don't even talk to me until you got an electric bill.
Yeah, and then it's like we have to. That's something in our community.
Some of the kids do got electric bill.
Pushing, yeah,
but they had to say it's fine. Their mama put in their name. I can't help those guys.
We don't want to push them out the door until they're ready. Now, my thing is, of course, they just can't be at home doing nothing. So
yeah, hold them accountable, give them some responsibility.
Go to college, do trade school, and listen, don't put down trade school. You know, because that's
no.
You get straight to it when you go to a trade school.
But that's the thing that if you were going to trade school, you know, you would get clowned about that.
That's the kind of stuff that I'm saying that we need to help educate our culture and our folks about, because you can't tease a child for being a nerd. Tease them for being a thug, right? Push them out into the street saying that they're not prepared. Don't want to hold them home so that you can wait till they are prepared. It's like we're full of contradictions, and we wonder why it's like this for us. Like it's bad. We aren't close. How do we expect if home is supposed to teach you how to be a good citizen, how to socialize with others, how to be confident and dependent on your own or independent? How, if we pushing these kids out and home is bad, why are we surprised with the outcome and the stuff that we're dealing with?
Right.
I kind of push back a little bit because I think because we have two sides of the sword. We got some parents like, oh, you 7, bounce. And then we got another culture that this kid is still there. Like, you know what I'm saying? As soon as that kid get old enough to walk, they want that cat gone. And then we got the other culture where
they got them out
don't leave
to 18, basically, is what you're saying. They're looking forward to it.
I exaggerate the age. Okay. But then we got another culture where the kids become so dependent on the parents, they still don't learn the same tools, and they end up staying a hell of a lot longer than they should. And now they're afraid to try because they're comfortable. So where do we draw the line at where we say, all right, dog, bounce or?
Well, no, I mean, we have to. I think the job for the parent is to create an adult that is independent.
Oh, see, Michelle, I'll go with you with that. The job of the parents should be able to make sure that they get the healing that they need to be mature enough to even teach somebody else. They don't need to, because that's we're dealing with damaged goods, but generations of damaged goods.
Yes, if your child is sitting at home and they are so dependent on you that they don't know what the next step is, then you as a parent, you might want to look at what
if they're addicted to stuff, who bought it?
Create that.
Right? Who bought it? You can't be fussing at the kids for the stuff that you gave them.
Hello.
If they don't know how to clean and do chores, did you require it? Did you check their homework? Why are they failing? Like those different things, that's a parent's responsibility. And too often I hear it all the time where they can do it. And it's just like, where did you get that from? And I've only seen that really just like with my generation moving forward, where it's just disconnected. It's like everyone older than me was detached. The parents didn't talk about their history. And then they just were angry and they just, I'm grown. I don't want to deal with it. So now they're detached from their kids' lives because they're like, well, I already went to school. Why am I doing homework? And it's like, wow, how?
Yeah.
Well, you're my age. You grew up in a different time frame where your parents got you ready super early. Because hell, I was ironing clothes at 5 years old. My mom was like, yo, you gotta learn to cook, do all this stuff. So I was probably a hell of a lot more independent. I probably would have been motivated as a kid, but it's just the way I grew up. So
latchkey kid.
No, but my mom was home. She just
definitely a latchkey kid.
Yes. My mom was at the crib. That still was like, these don't burn their grill. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. I've been cooking dinners.
Well, I mean, I'm older than y'all a little bit, just a little bit.
Just a little bit. You look good.
Latchkey kids was different. You know, we wore our key around our neck. Well, y'all probably did too. You know, and we have to worry about
your shirt.
We didn't have to worry about predators, but it just wasn't as popular as they are now. Like, I'm sure they were there, they existed. But yeah, I mean, our parents had to go to work and we had to go to school, and we didn't had to do what they had to do. So, and sometimes you couldn't afford a sitter or after school program that you might have had to pay for. So you get home and you better answer the phone at 3:15 or it's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a problem.
See now, look, that part switched over where it's like, okay, you better answer the phone, you better be there, and then it turned into call me when you get there. Like now the parents are checking in, call me when you get home. And then it just turned into it's funny how you can really just watch how different it is.
Yes.
Every year is different. See, that's why if we were
cell phones, you can now be
there. Oh, see, you got your cell phone, you're lying, you ain't even on the school bus, but you answer the phone. Yeah, Mom, I'm almost there.
Not me. Because RG spent money. I knew where all my damn kids was. Like, oh, you ain't at home. Get your ass home. Because I can see exactly where you are.
So, you know, you can track them. Even
that's how we ended up there, too.
So,
exactly how we ended up there.
Like, I remember days when I hear the phone ring and I'm at the door, man. I used to be bolting in it because if I missed that phone, man, listen.
It's out of whack now.
They're kicking the door down, trying to get in there. I remember
you came home, you did your homework, and you had to make sure your chores was done before your mom got home. Yes. And like you said, you hurrying up, you trying to get stuff done. But now they no longer have homework. Everything's digital. They do it in the classroom or the phone. It's completely different. So it changes the whole routine. Like it changes the whole routine now. It's different. It's so different. So that's I'm like,
it puts more on the parents, in my opinion. It puts more on the parents to make sure that their kids are getting everything that they need when it comes to education, life skills, all of that. The school to me is not. It's just I would say 25% of that, in my opinion. Like the school teaching ABCs and 1, 2, 3s and all the different things. At home, they're learning life skills and they're being educated about their culture, and how to make it out here in the world, survival, all those different things that should be taught at home. But that's not happening.
I love that you said that, being educated about their culture.
Right.
And it just makes me sad because we don't have that. We don't. We literally, I mean, everything from being kidnapped to deprived, we don't have history to teach our children. It's like you'll be lucky if you know your great grandmother. That's a blessing. You know what I mean? We were talking about kids going like down the Beltway, going to their grandmother's house for the summer.
I was one of those kids.
But grandma lived somewhere else. You know, in other cultures, grandma's in the house.
That's true.
She's the babysitter. You know what I'm saying? And those
I will push back a little bit. We have history, except for we don't interpret it the way we need to interpret it to our children. Mm-hmm. We just let other people dictate to us how our history and our experience is. We don't actually define it for them. Because our history is there. We've been here long enough to inform our children. But the way way we interpret it and the way we say it to them is like,
even with
we're not having a difficult conversation.
The history is there, but where did we learn our history from? In school.
Exactly.
In the most times we learned it at school, right? Because they weren't talking about it at home.
Right.
For good reason, though. See, and that's one thing if we had them, not even if we had the money, but just to continue to talk and to have these kind of conversations, because collectively we really need to have like a huge type of therapy session. You know what I'm saying? In the Black community, because the truths that when you really think about it, that they couldn't discuss, when you had the mothers who had to kill that chose to kill their babies so that they would not be born into slavery, the ones who were getting pregnant by massa, and and the husbands and were being taken out of the homes, the trauma of slavery. It's one thing to be told about slavery, but the truth about it, no, I see why they didn't want to talk about it. Because how do you continue to love? How do you continue to grow and trust people who don't look like us, and even the people who look like us, when you go through that kind of abuse for years, right? So I understand why they stopped talking about it, but that did us a disservice moving forward, because we had illusions, and then what they chose to tell us was limited. All we knew about was it Washington Carver with the peanut butter?
Peanut butter.
Yeah. That was like him, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. That was it. That was it. Rosa Parks. You had 5 Black people. That's it on this lesson for this month, and that's all. That's it.
When I got older, I learned about Marcus Garvey. You know what I'm saying? When I got out of school, I learned about
exactly. We learned it on our own
because and all them cats. After I got out of school, that's when I started.
It wasn't being taught it at home for a lot of us. I'm not gonna say everyone, because some people they have the history, but for a lot of us, we weren't being taught that stuff at home.
They didn't know it. Our parents didn't know it either.
They didn't know it. My family's from the deep South, deep South. So, slavery is traumatic to a lot of my elders, like, because they remember a lot of them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, they're no longer here with me now, but I remember stories here from my great grandmother. Different story, born in 1895 or whatever the year was. So there were certain things that they kind of remember.
See, the blessing of elders. Like just the blessing to hear a story, because that's how we communicated. We didn't have our phones, right? You told stories to pass down your history. That is something we should keep. The storytelling, not the lies telling, the storytelling. The storytelling. Because I was looking, like, for me and my family, my grandmother just passed last year. But before her, it was like her siblings were like 13 plus years older than her. So I never got to see them. I never got to see my great grandmother. And then my family, we moved elsewhere from the majority of the family. So it was just us in our household. My history really consists of just who was in my house. And not until I got old enough to ask questions did I get answers. And I see that a lot for my generation, where it's just like, if they weren't already talking about it, you didn't know, or you were too young. And then you're not guaranteed to be here when you're old enough to ask the questions.
So
I really feel like, really, my generation moving forward, there's no history. If you weren't raised by your grandparents, there's no history for you.
It's so true. It's so true.
That's scary.
I said, and I believe RG was studied to show that self-approve and 100%. But even when doing that, you gotta study. And you still gotta you need to get a book, read a book, and not just the books that they give you. You got to research some things out and start trying to find out what your history looks like. I have a cousin that she is big on family trees and knowing our history and how, and she does all of that. And I'm so thankful for her because there's so much information that I've learned about my family through just her doing that. So I think that's so dope. You want to know where your family comes from. And, it ain't just about slavery, but it is what it is.
I mean, the skills and like mine, when you're just like, so that's where I get that from. This is who knows that. Like, that stuff is amazing. It really is. If you can get that superficial stuff, it's amazing.
My ex-husband's great grandmother, she was 100 years old when she passed away. And when I think my oldest son, I had my oldest son at that time. She was still alive at that time. And when we used to go down to North Carolina and visit, I would sit in that living room and talk to her because she still remembered things. And I was in my 20s at this time, and I just was so intrigued by the stories. And she, how the cartoons with the old person always had that whistle.
Yes.
Like, you're talking about, right? When she talked, she had like a whistle. And I was like, wow, so that in cartoons. It was just so crazy. But the fact that her mind was good and she could still remember things and she was telling us stories. And I'm like, yo, I just would sit there like this and just listen.
Yeah. I love that.
Not many people, they like, I'm not going to hear all that old lady stuff. She only talking about, but I'm like, she does. She's making sense.
I know, right? And look, and then when you're looking at the younger kids, when they're talking, it's like, what are you talking about? What? We look at them the same way, just like, was that even a sentence? I think you quit it 3 times.
Like, I just hate the way these kids talk these days. I remember when text messaging started coming out and all these LOLs, and I used to say to my daughter, I remember having this conversation with her when all of that stuff just first started. I said, you're gonna start talking like you're texting. If you don't stop. I remember saying this to her. You're gonna start talking like you're texting, and here we are.
Did you give any warnings to your kids, RG? On the cell phones? When text messages first started?
Well, we had a long conversation because I've been in tech ever since it came out. So I monitored what they said. I was like, hey, talk to me in complete sentences or I will take the phone away. I'm really big on that.
I say that all the time.
No. I cannot do it. Right. No abbreviations.
Right. I am not your homie. Yeah.
Yes. I don't know what you're talking about. What does this mean? Let's spell it out. I should be like, spell it out because I don't know what you're saying.
Okay, I will leave you silent. I'm not responding to that. What is no.
I have one more though. Deciphering things for our kids. The reason why I said that, because you maybe remember something. Me and my oldest son, he was listening to Young Jeezy, right? At the time. Because I never censored what they listened to. I always explained it to him what they were listening to. Mm-hmm. So he got in this obsession about drawing snowmen. And I let him sit there for about a week. He just drawing all these snowmen. So I was like, hey kid. He said, huh? He's like, you know what you're drawing there? He's like, a snowman. I'm like, no. He's talking about cocaine.
Hello.
And I never had to worry about snowmen again because he understood the meaning behind it. And I think we don't have these conversations. We don't decipher the things to make the kids understand that these are more than just symbols. These are real things that you're embodying and you don't even realize it.
Yeah. See, but that is an active parent.
Right.
And that's really the difference. It's an active parent. I mean, a lot of people just figure it's going to be everywhere. They're going to see it anyway. So they're watching it together. But I always felt like.
But to explain it to them, actually open their eyes.
Right. But if you're saying like, okay, well, this is just all willy-nilly and this is what's out there without explaining it to them in detail, not creating some type of boundaries or censorship.
Don't touch that. Don't read that. Don't watch that, but without saying why.
I used to get teased because I was that kind of parent. And my friends would tell me, you're the only person I know who doesn't really cuss and doesn't let their kids watch stuff. And I'm just like, why are you? You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you letting them?
Like, that's a bad thing? Like, wow.
Right.
I think it is crazy because I'm like, at 2 years old, I don't think a 2-year-old should be watching the sex scene. That
Absolutely not.
Yeah, that it got a little rough because you had to get older to get certain things. Like you were definitely Sesame Street when you're 3. We will not let you watch rap videos or nothing like that. You had to grow into your maturity.
We only had basic TV when we were growing up, so a lot of stuff you weren't exposed to anyway.
It was still censored.
Everything was censored unless you happened to be up on a late night and watch channel 13 or I don't know, one of them off channels.
Before the time went off and it was just all snow.
And then when cable was introduced, then it was like, whoa, okay, I could flip on the channels and might come across. Then then now they have all these
phones in their hand. TV is in their hand.
They don't even. It's like,
how do you keep up with something that's on demand?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
it's hard to censor a lot of things.
It is crazy. But that's why I think that's important for the parents and the adults. I put it on the adults, full-blown responsibility.
Absolutely.
Because this future, we are seeing some of it, play out, but we still have not seen the aftermath of what this is doing. Okay, like
a lot of it. We're living it now because we're seeing some stuff.
Right. So can you imagine in a couple years from now? I can't imagine. Like I will mess with my kids and I'm playing with them, but I'm not. And I'm like, I feel sorry for you guys when you get older, when you start dating. Because I'm like, when you start dating, you are not going to know what you're dealing with. You're going to have to check birth certificates, DNA. You're going to have to check for scarring tissue.
Adam apples.
Background checks. what references. Because you don't know what you're dealing with, who you're dealing with. Is this your original packaging? I'm just saying. All right.
The surgery scars took me out. I'm sorry. The surgery scars took me out.
But it's serious.
Because it's true. It's like you don't know what to address. Women don't want to be called women. Don't you call me her.
Now? Like that's like so easy.
It's easy. Right. Okay. We literally.
I don't want to be a girl no more. Okay.
Right now, we are totally living in the times of Sodom and Gomorrah. In 2025, full-blown Sodom and Gomorrah. And I'm talking about elementary school status. I have seen elementary school students, and I'm talking about the confidence level in 5th grade now is amazing. People spend their whole lives trying to figure out who they are. And I have seen 5th graders, very confident 10-year-olds that are like, well, this is me, you deal with it. Right? This is my name. I will not answer to this, and this is my life. And I'm like, 5th grade, homie, like for real? You have all of that already? That's before they started letting them have surgery. It's like you're not even fully developed. I can't imagine what this is going to do for the future. These kids, it's like you're trying to figure out why you can't have kids, and that's because she wasn't she. Before you
I came across an Instagram yesterday of a girl who wait. She was I gotta get it together. She was a girl who transitioned into a guy, and then the caption was, they said that I couldn't undo it, and now she's a girl again. Like she literally had the surgery, had all of the male parts, and now she's back a girl.
There's only one male part. They usually just kind of pump and fill it up. It ain't like
one male part, and then they removed the breast, and she literally had to change the whole sex change, and then now she went back because she got into the church, and God.
Look, that's a very expensive life lesson. You know what I'm saying?
Because it's like,
where's she work at? Because I have a hard enough time paying my copay. God damn, she didn't have it twice.
Hey, look, that's a hard life.
But you know what? What's crazy about that is that if I don't want to be a man anymore, I can just go back to being a girl again.
You could just change. Look, I'm gonna say it.
You see how crazy that is, though.
Look, that's why you don't make emotional decisions. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just wait. Hey, look, RG, what you say? Patience. Let's figure it out.
So.
Let's figure it out first.
How about you just stay the sex that you were born as?
Hey, look, I'm gonna say it, and we will not get canceled, RG. Okay. But I am a firm
believer. Disclaimer, right?
Yeah, you did. I'm a firm believer that when you start mixing and matching on purpose, that's like spitting in God's face. Like, well, you did it wrong. That's disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? Well, I just don't like this, and I don't want to do it anymore. I do understand not feeling comfortable in your own skin, and I think we all go through that. That a part of that is some extreme in other cases, and it's real. I'm not saying that it's not real, but when cutting on yourself, that is traumatic.
Yeah, I don't understand. Listen, I will love if I mean, I know people that have transitioned. I went to high school with one, and she's transitioned to a man, and I love her. And whatever decision that she decided to make, that was her decision, and I respect it. And she does, I call her by her name, what she wants to be known by. I don't know. I don't understand how they get to that point where they decided, I no longer want to be this anymore.
Just frustration and the hate they go through.
Yeah, and
that is not an easy life. You know what I'm saying? That is not.
I'm talking about not after, before. Like,
okay.
I'm not saying after you had the surgery. Before how do you get to that space where I no longer want to be a woman or a man anymore? Like, what had gone on in your life that I'm not that anymore? And when they say I was born this way, I'm like, I don't understand how you could say.
I have seen both extremes. I have and care about people who literally, as soon as you met them, you already knew they are not about to be the girliest girl. They're not about to be the manliest man. It was just so apparent, even in childhood, where you're just like, hey, look, your son's gonna play with Barbies, right? Like, don't act like you don't know. I had to say that literally, was just like, come on now. Or stop trying to give her a boyfriend because she's not interested. Are you not looking at the clues? She threw that football better than him. Like, some stuff you can just see. But now, throughout the years too, we've had so many different people who chose it, right? They go through something, rape is serious. Those kind of traumatic experiences will have you so disappointed in the opposite sex, you don't even want to be bothered. You're just like, no.
Now that I get.
Right? And that's from both men.
Traumatic. I understand that.
Trauma definitely will make you change it.
Yeah, for sure. That I understand.
Right? But you didn't
get
healed from it. It's like you still didn't get healed or forgave and go through it. You got frustrated. You quit. You made an irrational decision. Now you have to deal with the consequences because you still have to look at yourself too and remember everything that you did and everything that you changed. That's trauma every day.
And you have to convince yourself that you are a man or a woman now. So every day you going hard to convince yourself that this is who I am. But
right, you're taking your medicines, you're taking your shots, trying to create something every single day. Right, so every single day you are reminded that this was not natural. That's got to mess with you.
That's got to what you want it to be. So you have to go on this whole campaign of convincing yourself and others that this is the right choice that I made. It just doesn't. It's not natural, and it just.
I will push back just a little bit, That's a business decision. You know what I'm saying? And what I mean by that is
it's an executive decision. You can't take a decision.
When you make that decision, there is really no going back. So you gotta hold that.
Really, that's not true.
Well, unless you got that sweet ass insurance old girl guy, I'm like, that's a great insurance all the time. But it's a one-way street. So you gotta hold that. So after you decide who you are, I accept you for who you say you are, and I'm gonna leave it at that.
Okay, the world's gonna accept you who you are, but every time you taking that shot or that hormone or whatever thing that you have to take every day to stay the way that you are, you have to think about it.
But it's the cost of doing business because that's what you chose to do.
Yeah, see now, at least for a female, it's one thing if you transition, because like. I don't know if y'all know how the procedures work and everything, but it's one thing for her was going back. But it's only but so much happening. But for a man, you're not getting that back all willy-nilly, depend on the doctor that the surgery that you got done. Some of them,
because you got to get rid of some things.
Right, but some of them push it inside out to create the wall.
That's how they make it though. They cut it off though. They don't cut it off.
Some have, depending on.
Reassignment is what they call it. It's a reassignment.
Hey, look, depending on what country or where you are, right? Either way, this is still it's a traumatic experience because you're building a truth based on a lie, right? And you're expecting other people to respect you when even you were confused. That's a hard life to live. Yes, everybody deserves love and peace and companionship, but this is something that the kids are growing up with now because it's so normal now. It's so regular. They don't even think twice about it. It's just like we can love everybody. So if you identify as a squirrel, then that's who you are. I'm supposed to call you that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's going too far now. At this point, I'm wondering at 2025, what's the limit? Because there's way too many pronouns. I really, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on? What?
And this brings me to a really good point. Being able to have very difficult conversations in a respectful manner. Even if you don't 100% agree, being able to hear other people's point and counterpoint without it turning into a brawl.
It doesn't have
one thing we need to learn.
It doesn't have to. Exactly. It doesn't have to be that. Just because you don't agree doesn't mean that you get to tell people what they're supposed to do.
That is all need to keep.
From the elders to the youth, everyone needs to be heard.
Everyone needs to be heard.
And everyone can learn something new. Oh my gosh.
Even you older ones, you know, I guess I'm gonna be an elder soon because Jesus. 3 million.
Hey, what they say, just keep on living.
Don't worry about it.
So I'm thankful for the mindset that I have at the age that I have, because I feel like some of the elders in my family weren't like this. It was like, their way of the highway. You don't know nothing because you're young. You need to listen to me because I know it, because I did it before you. I'm not like that.
Oh, we definitely different. When you think about like being grandmas and stuff like that, we look different now. I mean, I just look at my mother. I mean, we call her Grandma Diva because she ain't got no sense. She don't look that much different from me. It just look like you can tell this she made me, right? And it's so interesting that they're different. Like I look at my parents, and even though they're in their 60s, I'm like, y'all don't act right. Because in my mind, 60s was old. Like you have original teeth. And look, they still got all their original teeth. They still got hair. I think they could still be arrested. I'm like, y'all be cutting up. It is so different now. It's so different.
I look in the mirror and see all this gray hair, and I'm like, I think I'm gonna dye my hair. But I'm not. I like my gray. So I believe it.
It's different. Everybody's like living their life and things. But before we get off of here, because I have wrote some stuff down that I really want to make sure it gets heard.
Please.
Go for it.
Now, like the first thing that I really think that we must keep for ourselves and the youth is how to build community, respect them. What we were talking about, respecting each other's differences and how to leverage them. Everybody has a job to do. Everyone is good at something different. So we need each other. Being able to teach that in the house and as a community, like we need that. Everybody don't want to deal with the toilet, and somebody cleans the fool out of it. We need to work together.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I hate numbers. Somebody's really good at it. Somebody needs to handle all the math. Like we need each other's differences. We need to accept that. And we already talked about the financial literacy, but when I think about like more direct with the financial literacy, I'm finding that with the adults that I'm working with, that saving money is important. How to save money, how to build credit without going into debt, because you can totally do it, right? And understanding the differences, that just how much you can do with cash and how much you can do with your own savings, that you do not have to get a loan for things. And that's for everything, whether it's a car, whether it's your house. Like if you save your own money, then you don't have to pay a third party. Well, the banks, that's a business too. If you just have the discipline to put your money and not touch it, you can build more money than even if you let the bank do it. Because I'm seeing that the parents don't know how to do it. The parents before then, the Great Depression, this is generational that we're working against. We're working against generational damage. So that's important. And then the self-sustainability that we keep talking about, like learning all those quick trips. And look, it's gonna sound real. simple. I make sure I edited my words, but I'm talking about like Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts type of things. You know what I'm saying? Learning how to start a fire, how to put one out, what important documents you need to have on hand for a quick grab. Like people don't learn how to function in an emergency. You know what I'm saying? Things that you need to have in your house for a quick grab. If the house is on fire, if there's a natural disaster, right? Like just how to function as a family and an individual in case an emergency happens. We have so many different types of emergencies now that were different than just, being outside in the wilderness. But let's be honest, we don't know how to deal with the wilderness. You know how Black folks is. I don't do bugs. I'm not going outside. We're not swimming. I'm not swimming no lakes. I'm not getting my hair wet. These are survival things that we need to know how to do, how to filter water.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If we have one EMP and we don't have like technology, we in trouble. How do you grow food? How do you clean water? That's like important stuff that I think that we all should know how to do for not just ourselves, but our families and on a community scale. Because you know how they have us all moved in separate parts of town on purpose, right? You know what I'm saying? If you don't know thy neighbor, you in trouble. Because that means you're surrounded by a bunch of dangerous strangers.
Stranger.
We need to know how to do that.
I don't know my neighbors.
You said what?
Except lady downstairs. I don't know my neighbors. I mean, I'm friendly. Hey.
Hi. No, but see, but you know how like how you was talking about how back in the day you didn't know who the pedophile were, right?
Yeah.
And then now you can find out that you got 7 on the block or something like that.
Yes,
but
true.
I'm a still believer. It's not about the ones that you know; it's about the ones you don't know.
That you don't know.
That you don't know, right? Okay, because even Jeffrey Dahmer, and they pay their bills on time. They look like regular
citizens. You're only gonna go on this registry if you're caught.
That one, okay.
So I mean.
That one, but it's like it's okay to ask questions and to be observant, like because if you don't know, then you can't protect yourself, you can't prevent. So being blind because you're trying to like mind your business, that's not even smart. Like you need to know what's going on next door, right?
Yeah,
like, we need to know that, and it's different. These kids are different. We are different.
Yeah.
We move different.
You know how many teachers I found out were pedophiles that I went to school, that were teachers when I was growing up, that I found out years later that they were doing that?
I had a teacher hit on me and try to take me out on a date. Happened more than one time. It's like, oh, wait, you look familiar. Oh, no. Yeah. It happens all the time. Yeah, and then you see the kids now, they different. They facial hair and breasticles.
You said breasticles. What the hell is a breasticle, by the way? You think I'm gonna let that slide?
They were trying to hit on you while you were in school still, or after the fact?
I'll put it this way. When I was in school, I didn't date anybody in school at all. And then when I did get interested, they were older, and I remember being literally talked to, pursued, and yeah, they were not my peers.
Yeah, but imagine, you have a teacher, you're in junior high school, and he's a pedophile, but you don't know they're a pedophile. I didn't know. Nobody knew. I didn't find out until I was a full-grown adult, and just something just came out.
Right.
I be thinking coaches is like that. I've identified some coaches. I'll be like, all right, RG, just in case you've been touched, I'm sorry. Well, you know when coaches be slapping you on the butt. You know when coaches be slapping you on the butt and they like.
I didn't play like that.
In the gym, they be thinking like,
in sports.
Right.
No, we didn't play
I've
like
always
that.
been like, why is that acceptable in sport? Like I'll be like, males do some of the most questionable things and they don't even think twice about it, right? I remember, look, a kid. I've watched
small time from Inkster. We were all rowdy.
Why got to be the butt going sport? Why got to be the butt? Why got to be the butt?
Shoulder? You know what I'm saying?
Why can't be the back?
Yeah, I can relate because we didn't slap each other on the butt. Yeah, high five.
No, I'm saying,
and that is what all violent. We're rowdy ass kids. We didn't do that stuff.
You're lucky. There's a lot of sports players where this is completely normal behavior.
Yeah, I know.
What I'm saying is that we watch sports and this is what they do.
Yeah, hey, I get it.
But they don't question.
Allow
me, don't question stuff. I done met and identified several different Chester coaches, and I'm like, y'all don't even ask no questions. don't even ask questions at all. And it's just like, homie, he's like looking at all of you guys in the locker room. This is why he signed up for that
We didn't
class.
even shower. No one showered at our high school. Like, you weirdo. What the hell are you showering here for? Go home, weirdo.
Even if you play like real sports,
go home. And we in the hood. What you getting naked for in a black high school? You nuts? Take your butt home. Trying to get ED.
You gonna go
arrested,
home.
molested.
My son played football in high school. He would come home funkified, and he would have to get the shower.
See, but I think I think that's just our culture. Because I remember, where did I live at? I think I was in Indiana at that time. I lived in Indiana, and this was elementary school. This had to be the 4th grade. Was the first time I seen somebody just butt naked walk through the locker room because she just took a shower, and it was like, "What are you doing?" She didn't look like that.
Why are you taking a shower
She
here?
didn't look like us.
Yes.
She didn't look like us, but she totally was just like, "Oh yeah, like we do this all the time." Like naked family type of deal. It was completely normal, and I'm like, That's always like, okay, this must be a cultural thing because it is. It's different.
Yeah.
Some people are more comfortable. Some people are just the naked houses, and it's different.
And we're teenagers. We're teenagers. That's not something that we're doing in school. Like, well, I'm not going to see homeboys, what you call it? No. Or homegirl. No. I'm going to go home.
Yeah.
I'm going to go home.
See? That is funny. So yes, it's different. That's why I think these kind of conversations are really good because we get to see between the different cultures and different parts of the country, right? What's normal? Because our sense of normal is different. And it's not just generation, it's literally demographic.
Because what's normal to us is not normal to others.
Right. Y'all say Papa soda.
Them is not normal, but it's their normal. So how can we say that it's not normal because it's not normal to us, but it is normal to them?
Mm-hmm. No,
so I think we have to get into the habit of recognizing that just because you don't do it doesn't mean that it's wrong.
Right.
Unless you're harming someone.
Yeah. All right, Papa soda. You say Papa soda.
Right, unless you're harming someone.
It depends. It depends on what day. Because I've always been a pop guy, but when I went to the West Coast, everybody said soda, and I kind of adopted both. So
it's funny. Which one you say, Michelle? Pop or soda?
Wait, say it again.
Which one do you say, pop or soda?
Oh, I say soda.
Yeah, soda. See, it's funny. It's like you said, I didn't even know it was different until like just between moving. It was like, wait. And then some people say soda pop, they say both. And I'm like, wow. That's something simple, but it's different depending on where you are. So the stuff that we need to learn is different. Did you guys have anything that you just really think is something important that we should be keeping?
I've kind of been throwing them out all over the show, so I'm kind of good.
We're just gonna keep records of the truth. We're being erased out of history and the textbooks. So we like right now, while we still have access, I guess, to Google, we should be trying to learn as much as possible. Print it out, store it somewhere, like keep it.
Like I was watching, I posted it too. The Statue of Liberty's history. I don't know if you guys are familiar. Yeah,
I watched that a couple days ago.
Yeah,
that was crazy.
And I was like, and I said, some of that stuff I knew, but I didn't know that the document associated with the Statue of Liberty. What was her name? Dr. Joy. I can't think of her last name. If you guys know who I'm talking about. She had the Statue of Liberty, and she wanted to know the history of the Statue of Liberty and where was the original document. She said
she was actually in the basement.
In the basement, hidden. Turned to facing the wall.
Yep, because the original Statue of Liberty had actually chains in her hand because she was actually breaking the chains of slavery.
Right. And but she still has the chains on her ankle. It's still there.
Oh, shit. Really?
Yeah, so you can see it in between her dress.
It's just hidden though.
In plain sight.
It's hidden in plain sight. Exactly.
Like they do everything.
You still see the chains. It's still there because that was the stipulation that the chains would not be removed.
Mm-hmm.
And technically, they're still not. Full circle.
Hello. Right.
I remember,
Statue of Liberty is a black woman, basically.
Right. I remember hearing about the The first time, we're like, oh, it was a gift from France, and it was always confusing, just other countries, and that's what we get these kind of presents. What's going on? Because there was already so much details that they don't tell you. They kind of give you what they want you to focus on, and I remember just being like, there's got to be something else going on. Like, why green material?
Yes.
Right? You know what I'm saying? This is a present. What? Like, it didn't make sense. Shoot. I remember, hey, all right, this is stupid. It's stupid. But the Simpsons were based on black people. They were actually supposed to be black people. The cartoon.
Really? It wasn't a spinoff from the Tracy Ullman show? Because that's where I remember them from.
They originally drew those characters. They were supposed to be all black. But they, it was controversy, so they kind of changed the shade and switched the names a little bit. They're supposed to be all black cast. And it was like, really? I said, they just change stuff all the time.
All the time to wipe us away. Because we know our history is not important. Yeah,
that's a new one for me, because outside of the Tracy Ullman show, I don't remember The Simpsons at all. And it took me many years to even care about The Simpsons.
Right. And I remember going on school trips to the Statue of Liberty as a kid. I never knew the history for real.
Wow.
Do you know about like the nose being, why the nose was broken off of the Egyptian statue?
Yeah, I do.
Tell the people real quick. What's the story?
I was about to say, could that nose look like this?
Because it's a big old wide nose.
And we can't have you thinking that this is real.
Egyptian, hello? What the heck?
They look like they're brown.
They look like
that. Right? Even when you think about Jesus, it's like, do you remember the country? There's nothing but sun over there.
Oh.
All right. Terrible.
In the Bible, the description is us, is one of us.
Okay. Skin, bronze. Hair, wool. Exactly. It's like they have recreated. They have recreated everything. So if we don't do anything else for ourselves and our future, the truth. Find out the freaking truth.
The truth. Find out the truth. And not the truth that they want you to believe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Study to show thyself what? Approved. But we've been on here for about an hour and a half, y'all.
Oh, a little bit. A lot of stuff to talk about. I
did come in late, so it had,
No,
I appreciate y'all for holding it down as always.
And we appreciate you coming in strong.
I know.
I came in hot.
She put Ezel on us.
I was coming in hot. Shout out
to Hey, look. Next show when Ezel's here, I want to hear his input, because as a teacher in the education, I know he got something to say. I
really wanted him to be a part of this conversation, because I know
he got some firsthand experience in the count for sure. So he's just going to have to bring it late. So y'all just going to have to get his input on the next show.
What are we talking about next week?
Go ahead and give them the links, Michelle, with one L.
What am I doing?
Give them the links to everything if they want to get a hold of us. Here we go.
We thank you all for joining us each and every week for all of our shows on the United Front Network. And if you like what you see, consider donating to the show on PayPal at RGainsII, or proceeds go to the operating cost of this network. And if you have an idea for a show or you have questions, you can always email us at weareunited@myyahoo.com. And what's your famous line that you always say? Just if you want to jump in our inbox or our email and you got something disrespectful to say,
we will block you. We are a respectful group of people. We don't have time. You see this great? This means we ain't got time for your nonsense. Please be respectful.
Folks around here.
Season.
So please.
Oh, everybody has some gray. Look at that. Probably except E. He got to be gray.
I don't know. He might.
I don't know.
Because he be stressing out sometimes. So
It's funny. Look, he gonna come in here next show. We all gonna be staring at his box.
Getting all close, like
Maybe let the people know where they can find me, because I just didn't leave out myself. If you want to find me, follow me at Michelle_with_ELL on Instagram, and also my business page, Divine Essence 24 on Instagram.
Okay, and you can follow me at Mrs. Penny Owens for Mrs. Penny Owens at Facebook and _ Penny Owens on Instagram. You can check out my website, www.pennyowens.com, so you can find out about the Empowerment Over Sacrifice workshops. Yeah, get over there. Let's get this healing and stuff going.
Yes, you want to get your life right.
Man.
Sweet.
And numbers.
RG, you can find me at Instagram under RGainsII. Please walk into our DMs. Don't slide. We block. Simple as that.
That's the saying. Walk into our DMs. Don't slide. We block.
We block. Yes.
With the quickness. And I was just trying to see what we were talking about next week really quick, but I don't think I can find it fast enough.
Oh, that's all good.
Because sometimes I like to okay, I got it. Next week we are talking about how to Penny, I don't know how she worded this thing here. Because right now I'm not
wait too hard, Penny. I don't know how to word this here. That's gonna be a hell of a topic, folks.
We'll see on next week because I have 10 minutes to figure out what we're talking about.
We talked about that. Okay, there's different communication styles. Everyone's different, so you have to do that. Hey, look, just show up next week. I'll clarify it.
Okay, I know what it is. How to get behind networking as a community. All right, she was typing fast. She does not forget.
Oh, I thought we were going to leave it at the cliffhanger. Just tune in next week. We'll tell you what the topic is.
How to get behind networking as a community.
We have to learn how to. Hey, look, we're gonna work on it. It'll probably sound clear. My mind work quick. It do. I own that one.
Y'all next week. Peace and love, good people.
Holla back.